Recording or not? Oh, yes, it is.
Here we are. Welcome, everybody. So Darren can't make it. He's surfing, which seems a little ironic because I'm in California and I'm not surfing.
Where is Darren surfing?
Oh, and on those massive waves on the south coast of England. They can get up to 3 feet high. I think it's Brighton or somewhere close. If I was going to say if anyone notices anyone's in the waiting room, but you don't see that, do you? No, it'll just be down to me.
If you made somebody co-host, they would.
Oh, Michael, would you like to be co-host? Thanks for volunteering.
Sure, I don't mind. I've done that in other meetings.
Let me just see. Yeah, but now I've got to do that, haven't I? How do I do that? Yeah. Michael. Okay. Hopefully you're co-host now, Michael.
2 people in the waiting room. I'll let them in.
Okay, lovely. I don't know how it is for you, and I can't know how it is for you. But I was always trying to get there with absolutely no idea where there was or what there was or what there would be or what there is. And so it turns out that there isn't there. I've imagined it. You've imagined it. All of there is imagined. There's simply nowhere else. And maybe when I was really desperately seeking and there was an element of despair in it, then it became obvious that I couldn't get there. But maybe I could get here. I heard a lot of people tell me there's only here, and I'd been misled that there was somewhere I could get to over there. And so I looked for here. Of course, without there, there's no here. If there's only here, there's no finding here. There's nothing apart from here that could find here. There's actually no being here. There's no way of knowing being here. There's no way of knowing being present. And like you, I read a lot and listened to a lot of people tell me that they did know presence. You can know presence. You can know being. You can know awareness.
But I guarantee you wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for this amazing.
Tim, you were frozen on my screen. You were frozen for a few seconds or more.
Oh, okay. How is it now?
Seems fine.
Is it okay?
Yeah, seems good.
Where was I? Here or there? uh, so I how it can be doubtless, I have no idea, but I don't know where I am. So here I am in Los Angeles, and I don't know where I am. And yet I don't doubt that I don't know where I am. And not knowing is immeasurably lighter than this constant need to know, this constant self-reference of needing to know how I feel, know how I'm doing. I have no idea. And that's not strictly true. I only have ideas. There are only thoughts that suggest knowledge. And incredibly, the emptiness of all knowledge, knowledge still appears exactly as it appeared. But it's weightless. You don't need to forget what you know or what seems to be known. It's like knowing just takes its place, which is as relatively useful or relatively interesting. or relatively beneficial, absolutely of no value. And the worthlessness, the absolute worthlessness of knowing, and by knowing I equally mean understanding, of having answers. When answers are all equally empty, there's nothing in their place. They aren't replaced by a deeper knowing, a higher knowledge, a more profound understanding. All of those spiritual golden nuggets that you've chased, all those, well, if he's got that, well, why not me? Why not me? Why can't I be one of the chosen ones? Well, because there aren't any chosen ones. There aren't any special ones. And the ordinariness and the equality in that ordinariness of all human beings does feel like unconditional love. A love for all human beings, being the too clever for their own fucking good animals that they are. And then there's great compassion for all the idiots, all the egomaniacs, all the narcissists, all the ones I might have despised. And the reason why there's compassion for that is it's doubtless that it's all innocent. You can no longer blame a human being for being the human being they are any more than you could blame a blackbird for singing its song. It's as simple as that. It becomes as ridiculous to blame other human beings, including the one that you called yourself. It becomes as ridiculous as blaming the wind for blowing. And people will still ask you, well, why did you do that? And the answer will always be, I don't know, but I can make up an answer if you want me to. And there might still be the question in thought appear, well, why did she do that? And there can be making up an answer in thought. So the wonder is that life doesn't require any answers. And if you think about the dilemma most human beings have, it's finding solutions, finding answers to life's problems. Well, especially mine. I might be interested in yours, but only if they affect me, obviously. But it can be obvious that problems are just a story, which really all a problem is. I don't like life as it is. How can I go about changing it to suit me? And it doesn't feel loving for most human beings, and yet it can feel completely unconditionally loving, that life couldn't give the first shit about you. I mean, that's unconditional love, that life doesn't care. It seems that caring is a wonderfully, uniquely human idea. The neutrality of life is utterly indifferent. And although that, for most selves, that feels very cold, it sounds cold, it sounds unfeeling, and yet it has a real quality of open, free unconditionality. So life isn't about you. It was never about you. It's never about you, apart from for you. If you want to ask anything or share anything, feel free, just put your hands up or just ask away.
Hi, Tim. Oh, I think you're frozen.
Yeah, it looks like he's frozen again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
there.
he's back.
You were frozen again, Tim, but you're back now.
Oh, I don't know how that, what's that about?
Anyway, you have a question.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Baron.
So my question would be, how do you know? Oh, he went again.
Oh, maybe his internet must be spotty.
Yeah, maybe he has a bad connection or something.
Oh, for the
Yeah.
end. Did I freeze again?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Maybe I'll move. Hold on.
You can bring the whole thing. Pick up the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go on an adventure.
Here we go. Let's try here. There we go, new spot.
New spot.
Let's have a look at that. How's that?
Seems good.
Sorry, Baron. Off you go.
No worries. Yeah, Yeah, how do you know what you want or not want? Or do you want anything? Is there wanting still happening?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cup of tea.
I don't like it.
Yeah, well, yeah, wanting is totally natural. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, Baron, it's just the same with everything. I claim wanting as mine, don't I? I want a cup of tea. Well, there's just wanting a cup of tea. It's never been I want a cup of tea. It's wanting, desiring cup of tea.
yeah, but I mean things like
Do you say? Are you asking me? You know, am I a pure? You know, an absolutely enlightened being that has no desire? You probably have guessed that that's not the case.
no, not in that way, but
Oh, right.
I think maybe you have no desires like I want a girlfriend, I want a great job, I want to be happy, I want to be free.
Um, I will say no. The desire to be free. There's freedom from that desire.
But do you still have a desire like I want a good job or a girlfriend or
Oh yeah, not a job. No, I hate work.
but why do you
But
want
girlfriend, yeah, obviously.
but
I
why?
mean, yeah. I mean, who would desire a good job? Work is shit. You know, I mean, if you do a job that you absolutely are passionate about and love, and there's joy in it, but I mean, that's not work. I wouldn't even call that work. So if you get paid for doing something that gives a lot of pleasure, then that's not a job anyway, I would say. Because for me, work is always doing something that I'd rather not do. That, you know, work to me, the word just the epitome of work is I would much rather be playing golf or fishing or just lying in bed, but I've got to go to fucking work. Now, who desires that? That can only be some very perverse, I don't know, being possessed by this entity who has no feeling and no compassion for what would be beneficial for the human being, but says, no, work is good because it's been indoctrinated with the idea of I must be working in order to be worthy.
Yeah, I get
And
that with
so
work.
so not so yeah, specifically not work, but the others, yes.
I mean, why do you want a girlfriend? Is it because you want to be happy?
Right, Baron, do I need to spell that out? For goodness sake. Why do you want a girlfriend? Well, I mean, I just think it's very naturally here. So here's the thing. I think it's very unnatural for humans to work. Human beings are not designed for work. Human beings are designed as a being to pursue and desire as much ease and as much rest and as much pleasure as they can possibly get. That's natural, just like a fucking dog.
Yeah, but I have the impression that you are not depressed because you don't have a girlfriend or something. It's
Well, I'm not depressed because I do have a girlfriend. So, I mean, I could easily be depressed if I didn't have one and then desire one.
so that's
I think
still
it's the
the
most, I
same.
think it's the most, I mean, when you say depressed, I mean, if it's a preference, yeah, I would prefer to have a girlfriend.
And do you still would you still suffer if that if a breakup would happen?
Yes,
Okay.
maybe more. I don't know, because again, those sort of hypotheticals just imply that okay, me is the only one who creates any suffering. Suffering is all down to me. Well, again, it's just another false claim that me has. I'm so important, all suffering is down to me. No, the pain of being a human being, of loss and grief, is, again, completely natural. It's nothing to do with me, same as everything else. I am not, there's nothing on offer here about, okay, the human being called Baron could be free of that wicked, self-absorbed, self-obsessed self. And then there would be no desire, and there would be no grief, and there'd be no pain, emotional pain.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the hope.
That is the hope.
Yeah,
Well, I can kill that. You need to go and talk to somebody else, Baron, who offer you that on a plate.
I can't believe
And to be honest, I mean, why would you want to do that? Because so basically you're saying, I don't want to be human. Because all of those are the most naturally human. They were never belonging to you. They're just how it is to be. Being human involves emotion. We're emotional beings. And amazingly, incredibly, we don't have any say over emotions. You can go to as much therapy as you did. I did a lot. And in the short term, it could seem like I got back in control. So emotions weren't overwhelming. But here's the thing, emotions aren't overwhelming. They're only overwhelming for me. Emotions are painful and joyous and wonderful, but they're not dangerous. But self says they are dangerous, especially the negative ones, like grief and loss. So I'm not saying I desire those, but I don't fear them. And I was always full of fear, of sadness.
Tim in the chat, Betty wrote, is anger not dangerous?
Mm. I guess it can be seen seemingly dangerous, but we're taught that anger is wrong from an early age. I mean, I don't know how much you were chastised for showing anger as a child, but I know I was. It was the cardinal sin, really, anger, and so we learn at a very early age to repress it when it's the most natural. And here's the thing: it's love. Anger is love. And the thing is, we identify anger with violence. And of course, that is potentially true, but not necessarily at all. I think the violence tends to come from the repression, not the actual expression of anger. Anger expressed is so immediate and so, wow. I mean, it's the most alive of any feeling, probably. And we're just taught that it's dangerous. So I would say, don't be afraid of anger. And I mean, if I was being a therapist, I would really encourage everyone to show anger and, go in the privacy of your own room, go fucking crazy and call her every name under the sun. And you'll feel 1,000 times better. We all know this. And you go, yeah, should I really do that? And we're afraid. We're afraid because anger is so powerful. But it's love. Love is, you know, all emotions are expressions of this being human. And we just lives in fear of the ones that we were taught were wrong. And the main ones that we were taught were wrong, I was taught, was sadness. Hence, I just walked around my whole life with a huge grin on my face. And everyone said, oh, how happy I was. And I was fucking miserable half the time, but I wouldn't show it. If I showed my sadness, my mother would be upset. And my raison d'etre as a child was not to upset my mother, because I just thought the whole universe would collapse if my mother got sad. If my mother cried, I just thought the world was coming to an end. So I just smiled and said everything was fine, no matter how shit it was. I don't want to get too therapeutic about this, but we were also conditioned as children to please our parents and to be very afraid of their displeasure. You know, whether it was violent, whether it was physical displeasure, or just emotional, or terrible fear of being abandoned or being ostracized, not being acceptable. Sorry, Brendan, you've had your hand up ages.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, mate.
Good to see you.
And you?
Three things.
Three?
Three, yeah. First thing is politics. Second thing is football. And the third thing is intimacy, yeah. So, as you're
Is that in order of importance? Surely football comes
no, the
first.
third one is important, really, but I'm just
Okay.
interested in you're in California. Are you desiring to be sequestered to Canada by any chance up there?
I have been invited to Canada. I hope to go sometime.
Second thing is football. The football season has started here.
Love it.
And you might be pleased to know that I'm going to paint my front door. My front door has been painted at the moment in green, in gold.
I love the Oval Office.
No, gold for green, white, and gold.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I just thought you'd go claret and blue.
Oh no, green, white, and gold. Because Grealish is performing this year.
Oh yeah, of course.
People won't know about Grealish, but
No, that's just between you and me.
And the painter who's painted my house has painted the back of the house blue and white after Brighton. I mean, that's taking the piss, isn't it?
It is a bit. Why did you let him do that?
He did it without asking.
Yeah, bastard. Surely it's up to you what colour it was.
I'm not very good at controlling painters. Yeah.
No.
And the third one is intimacy. I just wanted to share and your take on this is I was with Tony Parsons last weekend.
Oh yeah.
And there was this delightful young man, a lot younger than I am. I'd say he was about 22. And I think it was one of his first meetings. And the bloke that was sitting beside him, behind me, was a pest controller. So I turned round and I asked him.
I know that pest controller, I think.
Oh, good. Terry, yeah.
Tell
So I asked him, I said, was it legitimate to feed foxes? Because there's a couple of guys up the road from me that feed foxes. And so I asked him that just as a matter of interest, you know, and then I turned to this young guy and I asked him where he was from. And he said, Southend, that's in England. And I said, oh, I've never met anybody from Southend before. And anyway, this young guy who was 22 thought I was asking this guy, the pest controller, and him something in non-dual terms. He thought I was using non-dual language.
Right.
He was a delightful young man, actually. And there was this sort of exchange between us. And then suddenly, and I've never ever seen this before, because I've seen speakers like yourself who it's quite clear are not there. And I can't judge whether somebody is there or not. But I've never seen somebody not there when there, not there then. This young guy was definitely not there just at that moment. And it was sort of seeing somebody not there. And I just wanted to share with you, there was a beautiful intimacy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to share that with you. What's your take on it? It was just pure intimacy. I was there, but he wasn't there, but I saw that and it was beautiful.
Sounds beautiful, yeah. I wouldn't make a big deal of it, Brendan.
No, I'm not.
But what I would, it's just like this. No, I just think it's natural. And you say, of course, the funniest bit of your whole story, the interesting bit is, of course, I was still there. Now that is there. That's all I've heard, really, because you've just gone, well, it was really obvious he wasn't there, which you can't fucking know at all. But it was very obvious that you were still there.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
It's hilarious, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, because of course the intimacy is there is no you or I. I mean, there is nothing more intimate than there isn't you and I. That's how everything is. But I think it can be, I mean, for a lot of people, they don't, the sense of the other self is so all pervasive that it doesn't ever feel absent. So there's no self is terrified of intimacy. But there's nothing to be afraid of. This is absolutely.
I wasn't terrified by it. I thought it was just beautiful.
No, well, the thing is, Brendan, of course you weren't terrified of it because you weren't there. But you're insisting still that you were.
I'm glad I shared this with you.
Yeah, me too. That's lovely. But the intimacy, I mean, most people feel the intimacy in nature because, of course, you're not going to discuss it with the tree. That's just the intimacy. So, with the breeze blowing through the grass, that intimacy is it's sort of not questioned. And this the whole notion of intimacy is between you and I is a complete misconception of intimacy. That there's intimacy between. Well, there isn't anything in between. That's the intimacy. There's the completeness, and there isn't everything is equally intimate. Because actually there aren't any separate things to be intimate with each other.
And it was very funny because he thought in talking about foxes and Southend, I was talking in non-dual terms. That was hilarious.
What was it, like a non-dual code?
What?
Was it like a code for non-duality?
Yeah, that's what he thought. He thought it was a code for non-duality.
Well, that's so funny.
Anyway.
Oh, thanks, Brendan. Lovely. And I have been watching football. I'm here. Beckett, Kate's son, is mad Man City fan. So he's been in mourning.
Spurs.
Thanks, Brendan.
All the best. Thank you.
Thanks. Michael.
I've been thinking about and writing about an idea that I've never heard before in relation to non-dual and AI. I'd like to hear your input on it. People are worried about AI developing a sense of personal identity or a sense of self.
Mm,
And I ask several AI engines if this idea had ever been proposed before. And it went through a whole list of rather vague Advaita and Buddhist thought that refers to the non-existence of self. But I've never heard it related directly to AI, that if the self doesn't exist, how can AI develop a sense of self? I think it's I think it's really an interesting thought that AI is just a uh, code in reference to accumulated objectified knowledge. And
yeah,
the sense of self is unique to human beings because of a shared language and shared experiential whateverness. And the self doesn't exist. So how could AI develop a sense of self? What are your thoughts on that? Do you have any, or do you need
well,
what?
yeah. It's funny. I mean, I'd like to be more interested, Michael, but it's of no interest to me whatsoever. And I'm always it. I always feel a little bit disappointed that, yeah, I haven't got an opinion at all. One thing I will say, I don't have fears over AI that a lot of people have. I don't have them at all. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, oh yeah, human beings, we're so clever. We've made machines that'll be cleverer than human beings. Big deal. I mean, it's just I and as for the notion of self, of course that is self's greatest fear. So I don't want to be used. I doesn't want to be usurped by a machine that has a not only that they can be clever and help me, but woe betide the fucking machine that has a self, because there's only me who has that. It's this sense of I is so sacred. So self is sanctifies self. I am alive. I am life itself. I am is so grandiose that the notion of a machine having a self is abhorrent and very threatening, because they'll be equal to humans. And of course, what self loves is humans being at the top of the tree, and it doesn't want machines taking over. Most of us have watched The Matrix, and
Is
I don't have. It's interesting. I don't have any concern about it.
when you say I don't have any concern, isn't that the sense of self or the illusion of self um, reaffirming that it exists? When you say I or me, um, when there is no I or me, that's
Yeah,
merely
yeah, I don't like non-dual speak where we don't refer to I. So if you're asking my opinion, so I'm just giving you that. And
okay.
I just don't have I don't have any I don't have any strong feelings about it, to be honest.
To me, it's an intellectual exercise, and
Yeah, I'm lazy, Michael. I don't do intellectual exercises.
to me, it's the greatest play. I enjoy diving deep into the imaginary.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know. Yeah, I should be ashamed of my lack of intellectual interest and rigor, but I'm shamelessly not bothered.
okay. Well, I suppose that's the wonderful uniqueness of human
Yeah,
Temptation.
And of course, it does get a bit frustrating for some of my friends who are very interested in diving deep into intellectual ideas. And I mean, I'm bored and said, so can we go and hit a ball? Can we go and hit a ball now?
Okay, then.
So, yeah, I wish I had something profound to say, but I haven't. No.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, clever computers. But yeah,
Yeah.
they won't have a sense of self. I mean, selves may believe that they have a sense of self. That might happen. There you go. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that back
So
to that idea that that self has an idea when
yes,
when it is an idea.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, but we're back into non-dual speak again. Okay, Tim. It was just nice to hear your voice.
Oh, thanks, Michael.
Yeah.
Hello, can I speak? I can't find my raise
Hi,
hand
Jocelyn. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
because I just want to talk more about Brendan's what he said because I was also at Tony, so I heard the young guy after the break talking about his experience of what happened with Brendan. And I
Oh,
just
yeah.
want to say, Brendan, he was absolutely convinced you were like the most awake being on the planet at that moment. And it was beautiful. I mean, that's I laughed too when you said you were sure you were there. It's like, well, you weren't. Like it was intimacy was there. And it was such a beautiful sharing, and it was just a gift to everybody. It was a lovely thing that happened in that meeting.
Uh,
Yeah.
thanks, Jocelyn. Yeah, that's lovely. I
Yeah.
mean, self is the most stubborn bastard. Will acknowledge, will try and insist that I'm present. No matter how many non-duality meet. Doesn't matter how many times you go to Tony Parsons, I will still insist that he wasn't there, but I was.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
And that guy is now looking. Has Brendan Lee? Does he do meetings?
Yeah,
Has he ha,
exactly.
has he got a new book out that I could get?
Called something about foxes.
Yeah, yeah. There'll be something about liberation for Southend in it. Don't tell Nigel Farage though.
That was a funny connection, really. Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely. Thanks, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, who's that?
Dario.
Hi, Dario.
Just a quick, quick question. The non-dual speak. Sometimes it's experienced like I'm full in it, like it's completely non-dual. And then at another time, there's just normal conversation.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I was just wondering how that distinction can even be made between non-dual speak and normal speak. But
Well, there isn't such
there
a
isn't. Yeah.
distinction. No.
Yeah.
No, there is no such.
There is no.
We do, again, human beings, we just like to categorize. So we go, oh, I was in a non-dual space there. That was non-dual. The communication was non-dual, and now it's not. It's back in dualistic communication. No, there is neither non-duality nor duality. So when you categorize one way of speaking as non-dual, that's just as false as categorizing normal conversations as dualistic. It's all just empty happening.
Yeah. It just leaves me speechless, this whatever this is. But
Yeah. Well, it leaves me speechless, but then I can talk all day as well, which sounds dreadful that I say it leaves me speechless. But believe it or not, I don't speak about this much in everyday language, in everyday life at all. And when I speak about this, it doesn't feel like I'm speaking another language. You know, it's not like I've just fallen into speaking German or Dutch.
it's
No.
just thanks, Tim. It's just
Oh, thanks, Dario. No, there is no distinction. Those distinctions are all for me to know so that I can pretend I know, okay, I can separate dualistic from non-dualistic. It's
yeah. I mean, you make a distinction, then you think you got something in your hands, which you can sail into the ocean of of this whatever this is, and then slowly it slips away. This distinction, and you try to hold on to it, but it just it doesn't work. It never works.
no, whatever you try to grasp will slip away. I mean, you can pretend you've held it for a while. There can be that pretense, and sometimes it seem to last for quite a long time. But really, there is nothing to hold on to. I can't emphasize that enough. That's what's being spoken of. There really isn't any. There are no handholds. There's no ground. There's no ground of being. There's no ground of consciousness. There's no ground. And then there's the ground. Yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing to hold on to. I can't emphasize enough that I haven't got. I don't hold anything. There's nothing to be acquired or lost. There's two basic ways of seeking, more or less. And of course, most people spend most of their life seeking more, and then, for no apparent reason, some poor souls like you and I just found that didn't work. It was completely unsatisfying. It just wasn't satisfactory. So then I went on a seeking less and less and less and less, hoping that I'd get to nothing. Of course, you won't get to nothing. There's no one to get to nothing. and nothing is nothing to get to. The hopelessness of this is absolute. It can be no hope at all. And the wonder is that this requires no hope. Hope was always illusory about a future that doesn't exist and cannot exist. There is no arrival. You don't arrive here. You can't leave. You can't even remain. It's incredibly easy. There's nothing to be done. Anything can be done. But there's no requirement at all. Thanks, Dario. Well, thanks everyone for coming. I'll give a quick plug. I'm globetrotting or what? I'm in Berlin in 2.5 weeks. If you're interested in coming to Berlin to spend some time talking about this utter nonsense, then just if you want to know any details, just email me. But you can book on my website. Hope to see some of you there. I've got a feeling there won't be a meeting next week because I'm traveling home. I think I get home on the Wednesday, so it'll be a bit much. So I think the next meeting, Zoom, will be in 2 weeks' time. And if you'd like to be on the email contacts list and to get updates of when meetings are, then just, again, send me an email and I'll put you on the invitation list. Thanks, so thanks for coming.
Thank you, Tim. It was lovely.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks for co-hosting, Michael. He's gone. My co-host just walked out on me. I didn't even notice. Yeah, shows how important he was. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Right.